A very good afternoon, my dear students. After long back, welcome back to history class. So the lessons which we are going to learn in this second semester, social reformers or the rise of Indian nationalism, struggle for freedom, part 1, part 2, partition, independence and partition. All these lessons actually, according to the reduced syllabus of this year, we need not to study, but still, since they are very important chapters in 10th standard for semester 2, whatever lessons very important which we are going to discuss in semester 2, they are very important for 10th standard. I am going to give at least a glance about each lesson, and for semester 2 all these lessons will be there for unit test 3 and unit test 4, and as well as semester 2 also. According to the reduced syllabus, though it is not there, you will have to learn for our further 10th standard portions purpose, as well as unit test 3, unit test 4 and semester 2. I am going to give these chapters only. So we will discuss the first lesson, social reformers. Here in the previous chapter which we have studied that the revolt of 1857, the causes for 1857, revolt of 1857, then what are the causes for the failure, drawbacks of revolt of 1857, as well as consequences, that means what were the changes made as a result of this revolt we have discussed. So one of the major change which occurred after the revolt of 1857 or during the before also, just soon before and after the revolt, there were major changes took place in our India. That is one of the important change which was occurring during that time. Social reform movements which were led by some of the social reformers. Social reform movements which were led by social reformers. Some social reformers, our Indian social reformers, had brought many changes during that time. Of course, they gave awareness amongst the people, and they wanted to get with the change. With these changes, they brought among themselves many various changes. Our Indian people, as well as it also led to the revolt, and further it led to the growth of nationalism in Indians, patriotism, and it led to the struggle for freedom or independence. So we will discuss the different social reform movements led by different social reformers. We will discuss few social reformers and their contributions. First and foremostly, we should know about Raja Ram Mohan Rai, because we can say that he is the pioneer of this Indian Renaissance. Renaissance is nothing but rebirth or revival or rebirth, bringing changes to different fields, in different fields, again giving rebirth in different fields. So we can say we can consider him as the pioneer of Indian Renaissance. So the new spirit of social reform began in Bengal under the pioneering efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who was born in Bengali Brahmin family in 1772. He was born in a Bengali Brahmin family, and he had contributed a lot in the social reform movements. That is why Rabindranath Tagore rightly said that he was the father of Indian Renaissance, as well as he is a prophet of Indian nationalism also. He was the main person to grow the nationalism in Indians, as well as he was the father of the Indian Renaissance. In all these titles were given by Rabindranath Tagore to Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Very important question. And how he became that much popular means, first we will see very interesting fact about him, that he studied Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, and later he learnt English, Greek, Hebrew, Latin and French. My dear students, to learn one or two languages itself, you people are struggling to learn in a perfect manner. But he became as a scholar also. Not only learning and becoming as a mastery over the subject is different. Learning means now we people are learning some languages for the namesake of to score marks and some of you. But to become master over that language is known as scholar. So he became scholar in different subjects, as well as of course he became a scholar in knowing about different religions also. Very good scholar of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity and Judaism. That is why he is rightly said that father of Indian Renaissance as well as prophet of Indian nationalism also. Now we will see his contributions. So he wanted to first and foremost step taken by him was he wanted to remove the Hindu religion of idol worship, sati and other rituals. What is meant by sati? Burying of a widow after one husband dies, burying his wife also who became as a widow on the along with the person, along with the husband, burying or burning of wife also along with the person is known as a bad practice of sati in those days. So if a husband dies, wife also has to die along. She had to burn along with her husband's dead body. So this kind of practice is known as sati. He wanted to get rid of these type of social evils. He published a Bengali translation of the Vedas and the principles of the Upanishads to spread among the people his monotheistic beliefs of their religions. What is meant by monotheism? Monotheistic beliefs means belief in one God rather than believing many different gods, keeping many different images. Just belief in one God. He published the monotheistic beliefs in his books, and next he wrote a number of books in Bengali, Hindi, Sanskrit, Persian and English also. He also started two newspapers, one in Bengali called the Sambad Kaumudi and another one in Persian called as Mirat ul Akbar. Next other contributions he made, he set up the Brahma Samaj in 1828, which later became as Brahma Sabha he set up, and it was named as, later it has been changed as Brahma Samaj. It became an important organization of religious reform. It believed in the basic unity of all religions and forbade idol worship. Then Raja Ram Mohan Rai opposed the caste system. Though he belonged to a upper caste, a Brahmin's caste, he opposed the caste system and he supported the upliftment of women in the society through education. He worked towards abolition of polygamy and child marriage. What is meant by polygamy? The custom of having more than one wife at same time. So he tried to work towards the abolition of polygamy and child marriage. And other important contributions of Raja Ram Mohan Rai were a great pioneer of English education. We can consider he is the first person who helped to introduce English education in India with the help of William Bentinck, during that time the British Governor General William Bentinck, which he thought it would enable the spread of modern ideas also. From the foreign other authors, foreign writers and authors, we can know the modern ideas with the help of knowing English education. He thought in that way he thought he can bring awareness amongst Indians. One of his greatest achievements in the field of social reforms was his efforts to abolish the sati in 1829. That means because of his efforts only it became as a law, like abolition of sati. It became as a law, that is in 1829, with the help of the Governor General William Bentinck. So because of his efforts, he introduced the English education to improve Indians with modern ideas. Next one, because of his efforts in 1829, the abolition of sati became as a law with the help of Governor General during that time, William Bentinck. In 1831, he went to England as the ambassador of Mughal Emperor. He died in the 1830. In 1833, he was given the title Raja by the Mughal Emperor. Ram Mohan Rai may have also influenced similar movements in other parts of the country. These are the important contributions of one of the greatest social reformer Rajaram Mohan Rai, who had given the title of Raja to him, the Mughal emperor, who had given the title of father of Renaissance and as well as prophet of Indian nationalism. Rabindranath Tagore gave him the titles. And what were his contributions? He tried to abolish the idol worship as well as sati and other rituals, and he tried to encourage upliftment the women education, and he put efforts to introduce Western English education in India, and he put efforts to make sati, abolition of sati as a law with the help of the Governor General during that time. So all these you can write as a contributions. In the same way, all the other people's social reformers also you can frame as 4 or 5 maximum 4 or 5 contributions. You make a notes, and in between questions can be framed as 1 mark, 2 mark questions also you can frame. Got it, my dear students? Next we will move on to another social reformer, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Next social reformer, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was another reformer from Bengal. He was born in a poor Brahmin family in 1820. He had a brilliant academic career culminating in the Sanskrit College of Kolkata, conferring on him the title of Vidyasagar. Because of his academic career, brilliant academic background, he had got the title of Vidyasagar, is nothing but ocean of learning. Actually his name was Ishwar Chandra. Vidyasagar was the title. It is nothing but ocean of learning. So what are his principles? The spirit of self-sacrifice, simple living and fearlessness guided him. He enrolled students belonging to a lower caste to study Sanskrit. Earlier actually the study of Sanskrit was a privilege of only Brahmins, but he encouraged the students belonging to lower caste to study Sanskrit. He made significant contribution to the Bengali language and wrote a Bengali primer, Varna Parichaya, still which is in use today. His greatest contribution was to upliftment of widows and education of women. In 1855, he was made the inspector of schools. By getting this opportunity, he opened a number of new schools for girls in the districts under his charge. But since it was opposition against to authorities were opposed to this and he resigned from his post. But still, in association with the help of John E. Drinkwater Bethune, an Anglo-Indian lawyer, he took steps to promote girls' education. And it was due to his sincere efforts that a law was passed which made widow remarriage legal through the Widow Remarriage Act. So because of his efforts, this was made. It became as a law. Until and unless a thing becomes as a law, people won't follow it, right? You studied in the civics lesson. If it becomes as a law, people will follow. So because of his efforts, it became his Widow Remarriage Act. In those days, the girl children used to get married at very young age, like 9 years, 10 years, 12 years, like that. But immediately, since they used to get married with old persons, they used to become as widows. But he brought a change, a law, because of his efforts, a law had become as widows can remarry. That is become as an act. So he attended the first widow remarriage that was performed in Kolkata in 1856. For his support to the cause of widow remarriage, the Orthodox Hindus attacked him also. Next, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, next reformer. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a priest in a temple at Dakshineshwar near Kolkata. After coming in contact with the practitioners of other religions, he accepted the sanctity of all faiths. The simplicity of his character and his homely wisdom attracted a large number of followers. The intellectual Indians whose faith in their own culture had been shaken by the challenge from the West found reassurance in his teachings. only just one or two contributions you can make as each and every person, every social reformers you frame as the contributions of a particular reformer. What were the contributions of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar to the social reform movement? What were the contributions of Rajaram Mohan Rai? You can make 3 to 4 contributions as 3 to 4 sentences, my dear students. In between you can learn any important, like who gave the titles and who brought, whose effort of, under whose effort this became as an act, who brought this act, and in which year a particular act had been abolition of sati, who made this abolition as an act, Rajaram Mohan Rai, and widow remarriage act under whose effort Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. In that way you can make as small questions also. Next, Swami Vivekananda. Narendranath Dutt, original name of Swami Vivekananda, you may know that, later known as Swami Vivekananda, founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897 to propagate the teachings of his Guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So, who was the teacher of Narendranath Datta or Swami Vivekananda? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. First, he started a mission, Ramakrishna Mission. He believed that best way to serve God was to service mankind. So, to serve God, if we service mankind, it is equal to the best way of serving God. That is Manava Sevaye Madhava Seva. You might have heard about this saying that is said by Swami Vivekananda. And it became the motto of the Ramakrishna Mission, that is serve to God, service mankind. Serve to God was to service mankind, motto of Ramakrishna Mission. And also this mission also soon became a powerful center of numerous public activities, which includes that organizing relief during the floods, famines and epidemics, establishing schools, colleges, libraries, running charitable hospitals, homes for orphans and upliftment of masses. In 1893, he participated in the All-World Religious Conference at Chicago in the United States, and his speech on universal brotherhood was well received by many people. And one interestingly, he had given the speech at Chicago about the universal brotherhood in the World Religious Conference. He took 72 hours continuous speech. Got it? This is an interesting fact. All these social reformers belong to, whichever we have discussed, these social reformers belong to Bengal, that is eastern part of India. Like from Bengal, most of all these people, whoever we discussed, Rajaram Mohan Rai, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, all these people. Now the social reform movements which took in the western India, we will see in the western part, Maharashtra side. Okay, Jyotirao Govindrao Phule or Jyotiba played a prominent role in bringing about reforms in Maharashtra. In the western India. In 1851, he started a school for girls of the lower caste. He educated his own wife so that he could teach in that school. In 1873, he founded an association called Satya Shodhak Samaj, which opened its doors to people of all castes and religions. He was strongly opposed to the domination of the Brahmins and started the practice of performing marriage ceremonies without Brahmin priests also. So question can be framed: give any social reform movements or explain social reform movements which took in western India. Means you will have to mention very importantly about Jyotiba Phule and from where he where he was, as well as what were the contributions made by Jyotiba Phule. In 1867, the Prarthana Samaj was founded. Some other people, Jyotiba Phule founded Satya Shodhak Samaj, and now we are speaking about other social reformers from western part. Prarthana Samaj, which was founded in Bombay by Mahadev Govind Ranade and Ramakrishna Bhandarkar. They condemned the caste system and the practice of untouchability. They also took up the cause of the upliftment of women and advocated widow remarriage. In 1887, Ranade founded the Indian National Social Conference with the objective of working for social reforms throughout the country. So these are the social reform movements which took place from Western India. Okay, when you are mentioning, you have to write about Jyotirao Phule and Mahadev Govind Ranade. Separately, you can write as reform movements in Western India means you will have to mention about each person two contributions. Next, we will move on to the Northern India. In Northern India, who started the social reform movements means it was started by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Social and religious reform movements he started in Northern India. He was born in Kathiawar in 1824 and was called as Mul Shankara. At the early age of 14, he rebelled against the practice of idol worship. At the age of 14 years itself, he rebelled against the practice of idol worship, and soon after this he left home. He acquired mastery over Sanskrit language and literature. In 1863, Swami Dayananda Saraswati preached that the Vedas contained all knowledge imparted to the people by God. He propagated the motto back to the Vedas. He published his views through his books which he wrote in Hindi. Then the Satyartha Prakash was his most important work, very important. The book which was written by Swami Dayananda Saraswati, which was an important book, the Satyartha Prakash. He preached directly to the masses and did not confine his teachings in the intellectuals. As a result, his following increased and his teachings took deep roots in Punjab, UP, Rajasthan and Gujarat also. So this is started from Northern India and it spread to Punjab, Gujarat until Gujarat also. Gujarat it spread. In 1875, Swami Dayananda founded the Arya Samaj in Bombay. The members of the Arya Samaj were guided by 10 principles, of which the first one was to study of Vedas. The Arya Samaj opposed child marriage and encouraged widow remarriage. For the promotion of education, a network of schools and colleges for both boys and girls was established by the Arya Samaj throughout northern India, and Dayanand Anglo-Vedic School at Lahore was one of the premier colleges of Punjab. English and Hindi were used as medium of instructions. Next, we will move on to another social reformer, Annie Besant. Now, Annie Besant, before knowing Annie Besant, we have to learn about the Theosophical Society, which was founded by Madame Blavatsky at Adayar in Tamil Nadu. The Theosophical Society was started by Madame Blavatsky at Adayar near Madras, which is present Chennai. Annie Besant, who came to India in 1893, and she became the important leader of this Theosophical Society. What is meant by Theosophical? It is teaching about God and the world based on mystical insight. So it was started by Madame Blavatsky, but more popularized by Annie Besant as the leader of this movement. She also contributed a lot through this Theosophical Society. Its philosophy embodied in itself the truths which underlie all religions. Annie Besant was the founder of the Central Hindu College at Benares, which later developed into Benares Hindu University, and she also founded a library of rare Sanskrit books. She was champion of women's rights and fought against child marriage. She founded the Central Hindu College and she organized the Home Rule movement. This Home Rule movement was founded by Balagangadhar Tilak, and she more popularized with the who led the movement was who founded the movement Home Rule movement by Balagangadhar Tilak, one of the national leader, but she organized and led the movement. She more popularized the movement. That is why generally Home Rule movement means immediately the name comes into mind of students, that is Annie Besant, because she popularized Home Rule movement which was founded by Balagangadhar Tilak. These were the many important social reformers who led social reform movements from Eastern India, Western India as well as from Northern India. Next lesson will continue in South as well as in from other religions who led the social reform movements in southern India as well as some other religious people also who led social reform movements.